Getting your own shop is not easy. We've been looking for months and we finally found one. Lo and behold, guys, this is the new Super Beamer Brothers headquarters. It is essentially a two-space shop. You got the E28 here, the E30 here. Stay tuned actually for this E30 series. It's gonna be really cool. My brother's already collecting the parts for this project, so you guys will see a ton more content on that. It's gonna be a swap build, so stay tuned. Long story short, it took us a couple weeks to move all our stuff here. This isn't actually all of it. We're kind of pack rats. We have a bunch of spare parts that we are trying to organize and kind of make sense of the whole thing. But the shop is basically divided into two. Our tools are on this side, our supplies and parts are on this side, and the cars sit in the middle. We're already out of space. So this is a good starting point for us from moving from working out of our homes, and we're actually starting off in this space. Hopefully sometime soon we find something bigger and we expand and grow. We're gonna move on from where I last was filming. I filmed a little bit a couple days ago. We started the coilover project on the E28 and it started off great. It's really simple on the rears. I'll go ahead and cut to some footage from that. It's just one bolt on the bottom and the 3 bolts holding the head on in the rear. Drops right out, you swap in the replacements and that's it. You just have to adjust the springs. So without further ado, we're going to move on. I'm going to take the fronts off and we're going to get them ready to cut and weld. So I'm feeling kind of a novice here at the E28 chassis. This is my first time taking apart the suspension. And you guys might actually tell me, what are you doing? You could have just taken 3 bolts out of the bottom of the spindle. And I totally missed that. So you see this, 1, 2, and 3. Removing those should just leave the housing by itself, so let's try that.
Hey!
How was work?
You mean my day job?
Yeah.
My day job was awesome.
Finally gets to join us today.
Yeah, finally. I love my day job, but this is my passion.
This is what we wait to do every day. A word of advice for you guys at home that are doing this as well. We noticed that the kit that came for the E28 as well as the E34 is keyed right here. So when you actually slip this onto the spindle, it locks it into place for you to weld it, and you can see it right here. that little notch slips right there, so that way it's not moving and it's locked in for you to actually make your bead all the way around consistently.
If you guys take a look at this notch here, this is what we did as a point of reference so that we can weld in both our brake line retainer, and also we took measurements prior to this so that we can reference our
the sway
bar link. So these will be also cut off, and then will be repositioned according to this notch right here. We took the measurements for the top and the bottom bracket, and that's where they're going to be bolted. So imagine a perpendicular line running across right here. That's what we measured in the beginning. This of course was oriented this way. We'll cut these out and then reposition them according to an imaginary line that we have here.
Yeah, and these are the points. So
these are the points. This is the bottom at 4.25 and 6.5 top. Cool.
Let's get welding, huh?
Hey guys, this is probably not the best weld, but here's what we got for you. Learn as you go and go as you learn. You know, you welder purists out there will look at this and say, well, that's garbage. But in our eyes, this is definitely gonna hold our casing for our coilover. We took the precautions of, taking off as much of the zinc coating as possible. We did a thorough weld around the entire perimeter. As you can see, even in the back, there's horror stories of people doing like just a very thin weld or a thin bead around it. From our experience, the more weld, the more surface area.
You can't go wrong with overdoing it. Honestly, it's better than underdoing it, as my brother was trying to say, because we are putting this on our car at the end of the day. I mean, I'd rather it look ugly and be secure, but if you guys want to do some pretty welds and just kind of jeopardize your safety because you want it to look good, go ahead, that's cool. I mean, I am all for making this look great too, but right now we're learners and we're not ashamed of going out there and just giving it our all and making it work. As time goes on, I'm sure we'll get better. I mean, I'm telling you right now, we're all about learning. So with that being said, it's actually my turn. I get to do one of these. If I can do it, I'm sure any of you guys out there can do it too. So don't be afraid to go out there and do it yourself at your own risk. Once again, the next day. It's Saturday now, so a day before Big SoCal Euro, and thank God we're actually finishing up the coilover install today. Show you what we got so far. We actually went ahead and welded up, as you saw in the last footage. So we slid the rest of the coilover into the casing, the new casing, and did our measurements on this side. Didn't want to bore you guys with all the extensive, troubleshooting to get the ride height right, but we did it to this side. We got our measurements, and of course they're all not final until we actually get it driving around and getting the springs to settle. So we're gonna go ahead and do it again on the other side. That we will show you because we've already dialed it in, and then we're gonna have our first drive.
What we do here is go back.
It's on the ground and it looks awesome. It's probably as low as I've ever driven. Some people will laugh and say, ha, it's not even low. But you know what? I couldn't even get the jack out. We had to put it on the rotors, drive it off. What do you think?
Oh, I think it looks great.
Yeah?
But as I always say, you need to drive it before you dial it.
That's his saying. He used to say it all the time.
Now I don't.
Now he doesn't. No, so we're gonna go ahead and roll it out, drive it around today, see how it settles. I think it settles after, I don't know, maybe a few days if you daily drive it. But I don't think it's gonna settle too bad. Either way, I'm super happy with the result. It looks great. Let's try to get some rolling shots before we close the video out, but this is awesome.